So what up, what up, what up? It's your boy Roy, accompanied by the one, the only, the Dominican bad man, Sergio, aka the floor price guy. And we're Combat Sport Guys coming back to you with another UFC full card prediction. This is the new era. We were gone, we were on hiatus, we were away for 6 weeks, but now the UFC has landed on Paramount. And kicking off the card, we have a UFC title fight. Ilya Tapora took some time off. He's taking some he has some legal trouble with his wife, right? He needed some time off to himself. So in comes Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. Before we get into the full card, how have you been, my man? What's been going on? A lot has happened in the UFC verse, but I want to know what's up with you.
I'm very good, brother. Always a pleasure doing this with you, brother. It's been good to take some time off to reflect. You go back in, it was a great year when it comes to betting last year. I just got, it's cool to see everything settled down now. It's not only the UFC, we're going to get Zuffa boxing. So Friday we got boxing starting at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And then we got the early card. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited to make some money. I'm excited to call some fights, and let's take it from there, champ.
Right on. Real quick, before we get into this card, I wanted to ask you some rapid fire questions. What did you think about DC and John Jones being on that Russian television show, beefing once again, pretending to be friends, and then once they're done filming, they go back to hating on each other and talking crap? What did you think of that?
Well,
you think these guys can ever be brothers? You think these guys could ever like shake hands and be like, you know what, let's just let bygones be bygones?
No, bro. And you know what's crazy? It's like with all this stuff, you hear two sides, and then you hear John's nasty. I love John. You got the GOAT, bro. Let me ask you a question. Now that we got
GSP,
is John still the GOAT, bro?
GSP.
Is John ducking Tom Aspinall, bro?
GSP. The greatest thing that happened was Tom getting eye poked, bro. That was the greatest thing happened.
Everybody forgot about Tom. Nobody cares. Nobody cares, bro.
You,
Nobody
man.
cares.
No one's happier with what happened to Tom than you, man. I wanted I wanted that fight to happen. If it does happen, I don't think it will happen because of the American Revolution backstory, right? On July 4th, that would have been amazing, man.
July 4th, bringing England dude there.
Yeah. Bringing England dude against the baddest American who just fucking defies all laws. And that would have been such a cool story to tell, but it is what it is. Next up, I want to ask you.
Let my guy eye poke. He's going to eye poke the shit out.
Yeah, let the eye pokes go. I wanted to ask you about Dan Hooker and Paddy Pimblett beefing online. What do you think about that?
I think those boys got personal.
They got personal, right?
But now it doesn't make sense. You feel me? Because that beef would have been great if prior to Armin, right? You know what it should have been? It should have been Hooker versus Paddy. Armin should have not been in that equation. I think it's personal. What are your thoughts? I mean, those boys got in there.
I think it's personal. I think some of it could be misconstrued, like comments, right? Like kind of the media playing them against each other. You get me? And then misunderstanding of what was said. But yeah, I don't know if depending on this fight goes this Saturday, we possibly can see them face off each other. We possibly can't, right? Because if Paddy becomes champ, do you see him getting a title shot, Dan Hooker? I don't think so. Not with the performance he's had. No. I'm talking about Dan Hooker.
Oh no, Dan is not.
That's what I'm saying. I don't see him fighting for a title, right? He's an intended fighter, but I don't see him fighting for a title.
You know what they'll do if let's say he wins this weekend, which again I'm going for Gaethje. Like as long as Gaethje doesn't get taken down, right? I also want to see how big Paddy is, but we'll get into that when they dissect the fight. Let's see if Paddy wins, goes against Ilya, and loses. Give him Dan Hooker next. Doesn't matter. Just give him a main event slot. It could even be a UFC pay-per-view number slot at this point. Like who gives a fuck about the number now, right?
And last but not least, I want to ask you about what do you think about Alex Pereira's most recent side quest with Tracy Cortez? What do you think about that? The boys were upset, man. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody was mad. Everybody was rioting online. What was your take? I know you were kind of upset as well, right?
My boy started running. After that, you know what my boy did, bro? He put the tie shorts on. He started running, and they started recording him, bro. They started, and my guy's like, "Are you heartbroken?" He says, "Chama," and he says,
That's one way to answer, right? Because that can mean many things. You don't know what it means.
That's your girl. That's your girl too. Hey, that's your girl.
And that's not my girl, bro. We picked against her lifetime, bro. She needs to get her priorities straight. We'll move on, though. We'll go on to this card. Last year, we had a spectacular year. We gave you a heaps of underdog picks, parlays, and uh, prop bets. And this year, we're going to look to start off hot and continue that trend. We do have a 14 fight card. It does start earlier. That's one of the things I'm most excited about for this new Paramount card. It's 13 fights. I apologize. Some cancellations. Kayla Harrison and Amanda Nunes are no longer on this card. And Alexa Grasso pulled out. In comes Natalia Silva. 13 fights, Paramount Plus. Let's get into this full card breakdown. Kicking off the card, we have, this looks a little, we have Ty Miller taking on Adam Fugit. Now, Ty Miller is making his UFC debut, coming off of the unanimous decision win to Jimmy Drago on the Dana White Contender Series. He's 6-0. He's coming up against Fugit, who's coming off of a loss, KO, to Islam Dulatov, right? And Fugit has been in the UFC for some time. He's fought like a bunch of killers, right? They given him Michael Morales, who's up there in talks for title, for challenging for the title. He's fought Islam Dulatov. He's fought Mike Malott. He's fought a who's who right in that division. But Jimmy Drago is coming in. He has really nice boxing, crisp boxing, nice footwork. In his Dana White Contender Series fight, that fight was kind of one-sided, so we didn't get to see him challenge too much, right? And I think for an individual like him who's really good in the boxing realm, who's really good with his footwork, he's going to face his challenges when it comes to people who look to grapple him, right? And we're going to see that in his career play out because people are going to look to tackle him, look to attack that lead leg, look to take away the boxing prowess from him. He's going up against Fugit, who's, who is giving up not as much reach here. Like a lot of people look at Miller and they say, oh, he's tall, he's lengthy, but Fugit's right there. He's an inch shorter, but he has about the same reach as him. But I don't think that's going to matter as much because Miller's used to fighting at range. Fugit's used to fighting at range, and Miller's going to be able to utilize his boxing to kind of piece him up from his range, right? He has the potential to wrestle here if he's successful to utilize the threat of takedown, to utilize the fear of takedown and kind of have Miller fight defensively, right? Not really get into the rhythm of things. We've seen that happen with certain boxers and certain strikers. He can have success for here. The threat of takedown will be his path to victory, but I think Ty Miller's footwork and his boxing is going to be too nice. I don't agree with the odds, right? Making his debut coming at -420, but he should be good here. He should get the win. I think he's gonna beat
100%. My boy has crisp boxing, great movement. He's very limited in what people have seen, like the 6-0 versus the 10-5 factor. And we know this. One of the things that we try to be careful at, and we've learned that throughout the course of the Contender Series, is sometimes you get these guys coming from the Contender Series, like you said, being dominant. They come back and they're a -450. What's let me see. What's the
it's what I have right here says -440. I saw
-440, right? There's I look for this bet is still not on DraftKings. I want to kind of see how much it is. But I'll say this, like, this is an interesting one when it comes, like, I would actually see what it stays on the day of. I'm going to go with Ty. I just feel Ty is, it's the more potential. I think we've seen a lot out of, what do you call it? Fugit. I mean, look, what does Adam bring? I mean, like, he could do, takedowns. He has good control. So would you say that this fight becomes more of like, if Adam can take him down, maybe it exposes the grappling game of Ty?
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility, right? Depends if he's able to have the success. So I think be careful if you're going to consider throwing Miller into a parlay because the odds, the odds kind of suggest that he's going to have a dominant performance, right? But I would kind of just do this as a single, maybe do this as an under or over. Got to look at the odds for that. You get me? Look at inside the distance and just kind of do a little bit more research on that end and then put out a bet in that regard.
I'll say this is the first fight of the year. You know this. A lot of times when the UFC takes a break, they're going to be the first fight. They're going to be antsy. You think these guys are going to come in and they're like one of them grapple, bro? I think the emotion is going to be high up in the air. I think we're going to get a first round, second round finish.
Yeah, that's why I said looking at the under, looking at the inside the distance, because a lot of the way these cards are set up is they set a tone, right? And they look at pacing. And I think Ty Miller is in a position here, and he doesn't have a lot of like knockout power, but he does have good technique and good combinations. He can find the combination, to crack Fujit and put him down. So I agree with you there. We're both going with Ty Miller. Anything else?
Let's go on to the second fight.
Let's go on to this next fight. You have your boy Ricky Turcios taking on Cameron Smotherman. Now, where do I have it here? Ricky Turcios, he kind of gets a lot of credit for his submission loss to Raul Rosas Jr., right? And then after that, he lost to Bernardo Sopage via unanimous decision. When you look at Ricky Turcios, he throws wild, right? He has this volume in striking. He looks to outwork his opponents. He kind of wings his shots. He doesn't have the best technique, but he does have pace and pressure. His grappling isn't the strongest, but he does have the ability to scramble and has decent enough submission defense, right? But he tends to rely more on his striking and his cardio to win fights. Now he's going up against Cameron Smotherman, who last time out lost to Ricky Simon via unanimous decision, where he was in on short notice. Like, this guy has an interesting UFC career so far. Against Jake Hadley, he came in on short notice, right? And he won via unanimous decision. He took the fight against Sergey Side, where we both picked him in that fight, right? And we thought he was going to come in, he was going to be aggressive, he was going to utilize his leg kicks, and he just wasn't able to find that pace, find the distance, and kind of got outworked in that fight, right? And then he took the short notice fight against Ricky Simon, which was a bad matchup for him, right? Because that's a grappler, a guy with relentless pace and cardio. But I think here, this fight benefits him more because of styles, right? I think he's going to look to utilize his boxing, his counter striking, his kick game, and he's going to be able to really attack and counter attack Ricky Simon's aggression, right? Like, Ricky Simon's going to come in, he's going to wing punch, he's going to be able to utilize his footwork and really counter strike him. So I like Cameron Smotherman here. I think this is a good bounce back for him. I'm going to pick Smotherman to win this fight.
I think Smotherman has the proper style, and like I just think he's been dealt very not a bad card, but bro, like, he came in short notice against the guy from the UK, surprised everybody. That dude, I don't think that dude, the dude he won against, he's no longer in the UFC. That's how bad.
Yeah, he got cut.
He got cut.
He's small. He's a little small guy. Yeah.
And you look at who he fought. Like, the fight with Sergey Sidney was the turning point. I've never seen Sergey that locked in for a fight prior to like this one. Then you got Ricky Simon, and I mean, dude, like, Ricky Simon is a fighter. Let's not make a mistake about it. Ricky Simon beat, what do you call it, Josh Bahar, the boys, the brothers, Basharat, right? And this is a there's a little it got a little bit spicy when Ricky Simon told Cameron Smotherman, "Put your hands behind your head." Something cop related. I don't even remember.
Yeah, you're under arrest.
You're under arrest. Yeah. Ricky Turcos, on the other hand, I mean, look, like, it's been a year he's been out. Let's see how he looks. Like, let's see the strategy. I'm gonna have to go with Smotherman, man. I think Smotherman takes him. Like, I think a good bet would be under 1.5, over 1.5. Let's see the conditioning, how it affects him. I think this is a good fight for Smotherman to win, get back on the track.
Right on. We're both in agreement here. We're both going to pick Smotherman to win this fight. We'll move on to some heavyweight action. We have Josh Hokett, the heavyweight. Is this the heavyweight Sean Strickland?
Yes, sir.
This is the heavyweight Sean Strickland, right? Going up against Denzel Freeman. This will be Hokett's second fight in the UFC, right? He's coming off that KO win to Max Jimenez, and Denzel Freeman will be his second fight as well, right? He's coming off that boring unanimous decision win against Marek Buljo. And remember, in that fight, we were kind of hyped to see Freeman come out because we're like, oh, he's the former LFA guy, right? He's gonna come in. He has some knockouts on his record. He's fast. He's athletic. He's a good striker. He can wrestle. He has a Taekwondo background. And that fight was just he was stuck in the mud. It was a staring contest, right? And I feel like this fight can be a kind of a trap, right? Because Freeman does have good experience, right? And maybe that fight was that fight overseas? What card was that on? I want to say that fight was like in Saudi Arabia.
This was
wasn't it in Saudi or in France?
I'll look it up right now. No, this was Qatar. You're right, Qatar.
Yeah, it
Qatar.
wasn't Qatar, right? So it's that can have an effect on it. But I think this is an interesting fight, right? Because these two match up well. When you look at Hokit, he's coming off that UFC debut, as I mentioned. He's a former NFL player, fullback for the Cardinals. He's competed for a national wrestling championship. He's a two-time NCAA Division I All-American. He's got fast hands. He can secure takedowns if needed, and it looks to control you once the fight is on the ground. I think this guy's going to be too explosive and too athletic for Freeman, right? And that's not to discredit Freeman, right? I know his last performance was bad, but that's not what we can expect of him, right? He is athletic as well. He's fast. He's a good striker. He has the wrestling background. He has the taekwondo. It's going to be an interesting fight, and I'm excited for it. But I'm going to go with Josh Hokit here because I just feel like he's going to be a little more. He's going to have more pop, right? More athleticism, more fast. And like you said, it's the first card of the year. He's going to be way more excited. He's going to be way more, the adrenaline's going to get to him more, right? And hopefully he just sticks to his game plan and he has a good performance. So I'm going to go with Josh Hokit.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this, fast twitch advantage goes to Josh Hokit. I'm going to be and when I say fast twitch, let me athleticism. I'm not talking about power. Power is very different. I will give Freeman the power advantage, but Hokit will be quicker than Freeman. Hokit will be more explosive. Hokit had shown he's not here to fuck around. Like, he fought, and that's the thing about it. Love it or hate him, bro. What he did to my guy over here, Max Gimmies, he came in hot. He didn't let him start, and then what did he do? He banged with him. He didn't have to bang with him. I got a little bit concerned, and we're looking at a fight here that, Denzel Freeman, it wasn't that he got tired, but he slowed down. So then you're looking at this fight and you're saying, okay, well, you know what? He fought less than 2 months ago, similar to Josh, but Josh is, like I said, that heavyweight fighter that's like light, like Kane, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Josh, man. I mean, look, Freeman, Denzel could surprise us. Maybe knock him out. If Josh comes in and just, shoots to shoot, bro, I'd be very scared. Like, he has to set him up. But I'm going to go with Josh Hokit. I think, the camp that he has understood he's in a very unique position because, let's face it, Americans, you motherfuckers love fucking guys like Sean Strickland and Josh Hokit right here.
Who?
Well, some Americans.
Which Americans? Okay.
Americans. I'm not gonna generalize here, but
so, listen. You know what's a perfect way to put it? Some Americans like Michael Chandler, some Americans like Sean Strickland, and some like John Jones. Right?
Hey,
you gotta see which one is.
Let's talk about the GOAT, bro. That's the GOAT.
I'm not saying anything bad. I like John Jones. I mean, he's done some crazy shit, but in terms of fighting, he's a bad man.
He's a man. But I'll say this, bro. Josh Hokit money line. It's a great bet. I've been doing a little bit more poly market this year. I already kind of put money on him.
What's the referral code? What's the referral code, brother?
Referral code, though. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing none of the referral code, bro.
No, but I think I agree with you. And then this being a heavyweight fight, it would be really good to explore the over, the under, right? The 1.5, the over under 1.5 rounds, because I think Hokit, like you said, his fast twitch, muscle movement, his speed, his athleticism and if he comes in and just shoots and takes him down, right? And Freeman does have a good get up game, but he does slow down, and that's a great point that you made. He did slow down. He didn't get tired. He slowed down, right? If he slows down in the middle of the first half, the middle of the first round, and then come into the second round, he looks visibly slower, he's gonna get put away, right? So I agree with you there.
He's gonna shoot again, and like I said, like, who's the quicker fighter out of both of them? It's Josh.
Yeah.
Right. So, like I said, maybe you give Freeman the first round, but like Josh starts quickly, and like I said, like, he's gonna come in very well prepared. And look, what do you call it? Steven Aspinall is a good fighter. Like, it's the guy that wants to lick Dana White's toes. Yeah, but I don't even think he was prepared back then. Like, I think Steven is locked in now more than ever. We're gonna see what's gonna happen, bro. This is a very good fight for both. Josh Hokit had a little controversy because my man was like, my man kind of chickened out a little bit because Wilder wanted to fight in the last card, and Josh came out, I'll fight you, but the UFC gotta pay me $1 million, bro. Nobody paying you $1 million, dog.
No one's gonna give money, bro. What are we doing?
And also, it's $1 million plus you getting your name on you're getting on the top 5. Imagine if Josh beats him, he's on the top 5. So my
Yeah.
boy said, "Hey, I need to be compensated, bro. We're not doing that." So I don't know, bro. I'm gonna go with Josh, and let's see the shit he talks about America and Trump and Greenland and all that shit.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm gonna pick Josh as well. I'm gonna explore further into the week, maybe tomorrow or tonight, the over, the under, the inside the distance. And as always, guys, make sure you follow us on X at Combat Sport Guys. We always put out our bets, our parlays, our props, our picks before the fight cards for free. We don't have a paywall. We don't charge like some of these other cats. And we just give you our plays out there, and it's been proven in the past, right? We're not always right, but when we're right, we're right. So we'll move on here to our next fight. This is an interesting fight, man. Michael Johnson taking on Alexander Hernandez. What a scrap, man. Like, and the fact that it's the 4th fight on the card, this is a banger of a fight right here. We have Michael Johnson, who's coming off that huge underdog win up against Daniel Zellhuber, who you predicted was going to win that fight. I think it was like a plus 600, right? He beat him via unanimous decision. Johnson is a vet. He's well-rounded. He has good cardio. His wrestling is solid. He has good takedown defense. His striking is solid. He has good footwork, and he has experience, right? And one of the things he did really well in that fight against Daniel Zellhuber is that he limited the range of Zellhuber, right? Zellhuber wasn't really able to get going, right? He utilized that footwork. He utilized his counter striking really well. I think he sat him down at one point, right? Was it in the 3rd round or was it in the 2nd round? He sat him down at one point. So he does have the footwork. He does have the striking. He's going up against Alexander Hernandez, who's been on an impressive run thus far, right? I think ever since changing divisions and moving his camp, he's looked really solid, right? He's coming off that KO victory to Diego Ferreira, right? When you look at him, he has that kickboxing base. He has nice, powerful body kicks, leg kicks, and solid boxing. He also has a wrestling background. He doesn't utilize it as well, but he does have good takedowns, good entries, and good ground and pounds. So it's going to be interesting to see how that fares up against Michael Johnson's solid takedown defense, right? He has been inconsistent in the past, which makes people not trust him, but I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing from him so far. I mean, he had 4 fights last year. Oh, 3 fights last year, right? And all coming, 2 finishes and 1 decision, right? The Kurt Holloway was a good fight. He won via decision. He beat Chase Hooper, who has atrocious striking, and then he beat Diego Ferreira, who is a good striker as well, right? And has good grappling.
Hey, who predicted who predicted that one, bro?
It was you, man. Good job. I think against this fight, it's going to be an interesting fight, man. Michael Johnson as a dog, if you believe in the footwork, if you believe in the counter striking, if you believe in the cardio, that's a good dog to lay your money on, right? As a straight money line plus 170, you put 100 down, you get back 270. That's not bad. Not bad at all. But I just like what I've seen more from Alex Hernandez, right? I like his speed. I like his aggression. His cardio is on par with Michael Johnson. He's not going to get tired. The only issue that Alex has, and I think we said it before, is that he does wear damage, right? He does get hit. He does you scar easily, right? Like he's like an AD in that sense, right? He does bleed easily. He does cut up, and to judges that can see that could seem like he's losing the fight. He's getting tagged way too much. So I am going to go with Alexander Hernandez. I think his pressure and his pace and his ability to mix it up. If he's able to get a takedown or 2 here to end the round, he's going to look good. So I'm going to go with Alexander Hernandez.
Man, I'm going to go with Alex too. I mean, look, I just think I would be careful with betting, champ. I'll be honest with you. You don't know what Michael Johnson is going to show up to the dance, right? The thing I keep thinking about is reminiscing the battles against Thiago Moises, and but Thiago Moises was a different fighter when he fought Hernandez, and I feel that Michael Johnson has the power to neutralize his offensiveness, right? But that's the thing about it. Alexander Hernandez is in a different place in his life. He's more humble. He's not the guy that fought Donald Cerrone, cocky, different team now, right? He went with Brandon Royval, and those boys are, those boys are focused on training. But Johnson, I mean, 40 years old. I don't want to attribute it to age, man, but like I gotta say, Johnson has more killers in the room than Alex Hernandez, and you got to think, like, even though he's fighting a veteran, like all those guys from it used to be Black House. Sorry, not Black House. Killcliff. Killcliff is where those boys are now. He got the best, and like let's see if iron sharpens iron. I'm gonna go with Hernandez here, but like I said, I would be worried to. I don't think this fight is closer than what it is. I don't think putting minus 210 on Hernandez is safe. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, I feel even if it goes into the live betting odds, if you're going for Fernandez, it might drop because you know what? Johnson is going to put a pace. And I think he'll drop. I'm pretty positive he'll drop to
Yeah.
like even to, and then maybe, it starts picking up. Maybe the takedowns landed. Maybe he gets sneaky with the overhands. But like I said, do not discount Michael Johnson's power.
Exactly. Do not discount his power, his counter striking, his footwork, right? His cardio, his takedown defense. If he's a dog, despite his age, that you want to place money on, by all means, that's not a bad dog to pick, right?
Not
But
bad.
I think we're all gonna side on the side of youth here, right? With Alex Hernandez, he has looked impressive. So we have agreed so far on all these matchups. We're going up to a next banger of a fight, in my opinion, in the flyweight division. We got Alex Perez taking on Charles Energy Johnson. Charles Johnson is coming off that KO win over prospect Loner Kavanaugh, where he tagged him with the right hook, followed by ground and pound. He was a huge underdog in that fight. And, Johnson does get discredited, man. He's the guy who knocked out Joshua Van before Joshua Van went on his, monumentous run, right, to the title. And he's kind of calling. He's calling for that championship fight. He's like, "Yo, I knocked this guy out before. Why not let me run it back for the
But he,
title?"
but he hasn't even fought a guy in the top 10. Sorry, go ahead.
Relax, relax. He's getting there, bro. Relax.
Foul, foul,
but,
foul.
but he's a guy that he fought against Tamaro. What's his name? The guy that got popped with steroids.
Ramazan, yeah, tested positive for
Ramazan
steroids.
Tamarov, who got popped with steroid usage, right? He beat Sumardeji, he beat Joshua Van, he beat Jay Cadley. And you're right, he hasn't fought anybody in the top 10, and he should. They kind of have him as a gatekeeper in that division, right? Where his talent should reflect him fighting better competition, right? So the thing with Johnson that a lot of people say is that he starts off slow, right? He often drops the first round. He's well-rounded. He has good striking and he has good wrestling. He's coming up against Alex Perez that some people are going to look at his record. They're going to see all those red. They're going to be like, oh, he sucks, man. He fucking loses all the fights. But this guy's fighting everybody in the top 5, dude. Muhammad Makayev, who everybody says can come back and be the champ if he wants, right? He beat Matheus Nicolau. He lost to Tatsuro Taira, who's next in line for the belt, and he was winning that fight. You could argue that he was winning that fight prior to
He,
hurting his knee, and then
he was
against Asua Mabayev.
he was
What happened?
winning. He
Yeah,
was winning. He just got lazy.
yeah. Which fight? Tatsuro Taira?
No. So when Alex Perez fought Azu,
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he was winning that fight, but no, you know what happened? He became predictable with his takedown,
yes.
and
Well,
then
sloppy takedown.
and then
Sloppy.
going into which round was it? The second round or
The
third
third
round?
round. The third round.
Going into the third round, great corner work from Asua Mabayev's corner because they said, hey, he's shooting for the takedown, jump the gilly. And what happened? Sure enough, right? He jumped the gilly, he got the submission, and he won that fight. And kudos to you, right? Because you recognize that Asu was that the odds dropped in that fight, right? And Asu became the underdog. And I think did you throw money on Asu?
I threw money on Azu.
You threw money on Asu as
I had money on Alex. I had money on Alex, and then because you know how sometimes
you hedged it. You hedged it, right? Yeah, on a live bet.
Yeah.
But yeah, and this fight's going to be interesting because, as I mentioned, Alex Perez has fought people in the top 5, and Alex Perez is good, man. Where he thrives is he has that pressure, he has that striking, he has solid takedown entries, despite his last fight, right? Like his last fight, they were a bit predictable, but he was coming back from an injury. He probably had some octagon rust or whatever. I don't think he's going to make that same mistake this time out. But yeah, man, it's going to be interesting. But Johnson's one of those guys who's been active. He's been winning. If you take that loss to Temerov out, right, and make it a win because he did pop, he's been on a solid 5-fight win streak, right? Up against solid competition. I guess Loner Kavanaugh, right? A lot of people are saying that he's next up and he was able to knock him out. So we got to give him some credit where it's due. I think Johnson here can get it done. It depends how this fight starts. If Perez starts off hot, applies pressure, and Johnson, who typically starts off slow, is unable to get into the rhythm, he's getting taken down, he's getting outpaced, it's going to be long, bro, right? And then, so yeah, I think I'm going to go with Johnson here. Johnson's one of those guys that he drops the first and he comes back in the second and third, right? He kind of puts the pace on, but it could be long if he drops that first round and then come the second when he drops that too, right? He's going to have to look for a finish. So I'm going to go with Johnson, though. I think Johnson can get it done.
And Alex is a veteran. I want to say that. I'm going to go with Johnson, but I fear that I don't think, he's fought Joshua Van, but that's before Joshua Van became Joshua Van. You see, that's the other thing too, right? Like it's just sometimes you fight you have you against a champion, but if it wasn't for that loss, Van doesn't catapult himself, right? Because Van's also finishing fight. Johnson is not finishing fights. So
Well, he finished Loner Kavanaugh, bro.
he did, but you know, Loner was winning that first round. Loner was and that's the thing in MMA. The mistake, he came back and he was aggressive and capitalized. So you cannot fade on. And I'm picking Johnson, like I said. But if Perez is able to learn something like the mistakes from Azu, he's able to come in. He's able to put the same pressure because, bro, it was majestic the way he took down Azu. He took Azu down a couple times. So if he takes on Azu, do you not think he's going to take down Johnson, even though he's a former wrestler? I'm excited to see that to unfold.
It's going to be a good fight. I'm excited for that fight.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Johnson and like, bro, let's get some finishes, bro. Let's get some finishes. If you win, and let's fight a couple guys in the top 10. He's not getting a title shot this year, champ. He would have to fight three top 10s. Then you got Van, Tyra.
Don't ever say never, brother, because Paddy Pimblett fought Michael Chandler. He's fighting for the title right now, brother. What are we doing?
Bro, he beat
what are we doing?
Michael
what are we
Chandler.
doing?
That was like a top 7. That's the top 7.
What are we doing? Nah, get out of here, bro. You're gonna say that gives you a title fight, beating Chandler?
Well, it wasn't supposed to be Chandler, but like
he beat Chandler. He got into the top 8, and then somewhere during the break they bumped him up to top 5, and then they gave him the.
Bro, because
you want to talk about nasty, bro. You want to talk about nasty work, bro. That was pretty nasty, bro. The UFC said, you know what? The boys aren't really paying attention right now. We're gonna bump them up to 5. Hopefully, no one notices, and then we're gonna announce the title fight. That's crazy, bro.
Arman needs to stop fucking around. Arman needs to stop slapping.
Arman's killing it right now. Have you seen him on all these streams, all these clips?
He's
been killing it, bro. His popularity is rising, bro.
Bro, you know what's crazy? I saw a clip, bro. They asked Arman, you know what a nuclear bomb is? He said, "Who's that guy?"
Bro, did you see the clip where they showed? Did you see the clip where they showed him? Did you see where they showed him the Gorlock? The girl, the Gorlock?
Oh, no, send me that.
He's like, she needs to come train with me, brother. Let's do transformation. Let's do a transformation.
I am dead, bro.
But anyways, we're both going with Charles Johnson to be victorious here. We'll kick it up to our next fight. We have a light heavyweight bout. We have Nikita Krylov taking out Modestas Bukauskas. This is so these next 2 fights are going to be just pure entertainment because you're going to get some finishes here. I think Modestas Bukauskas knocks out Nikita Krylov. I'm not even going to go through the whole breakdown. Krylov is coming off that KO loss to Bogdan Guskov, right? And then prior to that, he got knocked out by your boy who beat your GOAT, Dominic Reyes, bro. Imagine, bro. Crazy. Dominic Reyes knocking you out in 2025.
Imagine the Dominic Reyes light heavyweight champion. Did you imagine that, bro?
That would have been awesome, bro. We were rooting for me and the boys were rooting for that. I know you were against it, but we were rooting for that when he fought against Uber. But anyways, Krylov, he comes out. He has good wrestling. He has good striking to set up his takedowns well. He hasn't looked the same since he's gotten back, right? He hasn't got the wrestling going. He hasn't set up his shots well for takedowns, and he's been put out. His chin has been tested in his past 2 fights. That indicates me to believe that he has glass chin, right? He's going up against Bukauskas, who's coming off that KO win to Paul Craig. Granted, it's Paul Craig. He doesn't have the best striking, right? He's a jiu-jitsu nerd. It's good submission, but his striking is atrocious. He was able to knock him out with the elbow from top position right after dropping him. He beat Ion Cutelaba via split decision, where I think he kind of lost that fight. He knocked out Rafael. He did lose that fight. Ion should have won that fight. He knocked out your boy, who you believe in, man, Rafael Sequeira. He knocked him out via KO, and then
initially when he fought the turkey guy.
I don't remember his last fight. But Marcin Prachnio, he beat him via submission, and then he lost to Vitor Petrino via KO. So he's been on a good run here, man. He's 31 years old. He's kind of entering into that fighting prime, right? They stack up pretty well, both at 6'3". They have similar reach. I think Bukauskas is at 76, whereas Krylov is at 77.5. And, his last fight was 5 months ago, right? That was that long ago? 5 months ago? Shit, time flies, bro. They both that was 5 months. I feel like he fought 2 months ago, Karlov. That's crazy. But anyways, I'm gonna go with Modestas Pukauskas here. I like his striking. I like his movement. He does have a submission game as well. If he does get taken down right, I think I trust him enough to do well with the scrambles, do well with the ability on the ground. I think he's gonna be able to find the chin. So I'm gonna go with Pukauskas to get the KO here.
The momentum does go to Bukauskas. I have to say, like it's just I feel Nikita's been even though Nikita's 33 years old, he's been fighting forever, bro. 30-11. You think that body doesn't really take a toll? I think he's aged in fighting years a little bit more than he does look a little bit different. I don't know, maybe it's time to go to middleweight. I'll be honest with you. Maybe it's time to go.
There goes the first time. That's the first one of the year switching divisions from floor price guy.
Always, bro. Bro, listen. If I got to win this fight, he has to go to middleweight, my boy.
Yeah,
we're not doing all this stuff. You know, we're cutting out. You know, you got to measure the meat. You got to measure the chicken. You got to eat the celery. I'm gonna go with Bukauskas. Bukauskas is the man with the not with the edge, but with the momentum. I think momentum has traveled really good, and I think he's going to be quicker. I think Nikita has been a little bit more stagnant, a little bit more pause versus aggressive, and that's how. What do you call it? Was it a counter that Reyes caught him with? A counter, if I'm not mistaken.
It was a counter, yeah.
It was a counter. There's going to be a big. Let's see how this. I do think Bukowski has a speed advantage, but let's see when you put him there. Like I said, first card of the year, so it's tricky. You don't know if my boy's going to be a little bit more excited. It's going to get knocked out, overextended. Let's see. I'm going to go with Bukowski. And again, in a minus 150, bro, this is some good odds.
Listen, there's a parlay we're cooking up. It's going to be the inside the distance parlay, and Bukowskis is one of them on there. And then the individual in this next fight. You know, are you ready to move on? Because we're both going with Bukowskis, right? Yeah. The individual in this next fight is going to be in that inside the distance parlay. We have the middleweight Francis Ngannou that everyone's been calling this man, Atiba Gauthier. You know what's scary, bro? That he's 23 years old. He's Joshua Van's age. Can you imagine that, bro? He's around Joshua Van's age. He's 23 years old. He has the sky's the limit for this cat. He's going up against Andre Pulyaev. And I'll say this. To date in the UFC, this is probably going to be the best, I would say, probably the best striker that he's fought against, right? It's safe to say I would say this is the best striker that Gauthier's fight against, but I don't want to discredit Pulyaev too much, but I think he's going to get put out here, right? When you look at Gauthier, right, he knocked out Jose Medina, who's not UFC caliber, right? This guy's just there. This guy got a contract because he was a dog in the Dana White Contender Series, right? He was taking a beating, and Dana White's like, you know what, we need guys like that, and they gave him the contract. This guy's lost all his fights in the UFC, Jose Medina. He beat Robert Valentine, who was on the Ultimate Fighter finale. And that season wasn't that good. I don't think Robert Valentine's that good. And then Tristan Vines, who came in on short notice. Remember, he was supposed to fight Ozzy Diaz. They brought in Tristan Vines. No, this is the guy that he had him like in a. Remember, he had him like in a guillotine kind of, and then he kind of just spun him over, and the guy fell. And they're like, even the commentating team was like, "What did he hit him with? How did he fall like that? He just turned around and he fell, bro." And I guess he hit him with an elbow, and then he threw him down to the ground. But that guy, you talk about levels, and I think you said this after that fight, because the next time we recorded, we talked about it. You said, bro, that man had no business being in the octagon with that man. I think you said something to that regard. So Atiba Gauthier, he has the touch of death, right? He has the knockout power. He has the speed. He utilizes combinations well. He mixes in his kicks with his strikes. You know, even in Mexico, when he fought Jose Medina, he looked good at elevation, right? That was a lot of people's concern with him fighting in Mexico. Oh, he has all that muscle fiber. He's going to get tired. He's going to gas out. Jose Medina could beat him. Get out of here, right? He has gas in the past. However, I think that's where the concern came from. But, you know, with each fight, you get a little better in those areas. So I'm not too concerned. Pulyaev is coming off that KO win to Nick Klein. You know, Nick Klein, he had a short notice performance too, right? Debut, and he looked well in that fight. I think it was against what's his name?
Abdul
Mansour Malik, right? Where he was able to get the striking going, but he ultimately got finished in that fight. He got KO'd here. He's more so of a grappler. He took Christian Leroy Duncan to a unanimous decision. And we've seen Christian Leroy Duncan. He's a big dude. He has good striking. But in that fight, Leroy Duncan was kind of fighting at range. He wasn't really going for the kill. We were kind of upset with his performance in that fight, right? And I think that's what led me to pick Tulio against him, where you picked, Duncan right in that fight, and you were victorious. But in that fight against Nick Klein, he did have some solid moments. He had that vicious body kick, right, that put him out, right, and then he led to the ground pound. He's a striker who's methodical. He likes to utilize his jab well. He doesn't unload, doesn't have a lot of pop, in my opinion, but he has the grappling in his arsenal to mix things up if he has to. But I think, going up against somebody like Atiba Gautier who's been knocking people out, there's going to be a bit of nerves, right, and a bit of fear there, right? So do you think he's going to be hesitant? He's going to go in for a takedown, or do you think he's going to come off hot and try to take him down right away, trying to suppress some of that power and then just kind of, look good for a minute or two, and then once Gautier gets going, just puts him out? So it's an interesting fight. I'm going to go with Gautier, though. I think Gautier puts him out. He sends him out of here. But
Yeah,
I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
and to think that like Atiba is making the same mistakes as Francis Ngannou is I think it's not correct. Like, I think Atiba recognizes, like, look, bro, if you have this power, you got to work on your grounding quick. Francis really started to kind of work on it a little bit as he was coming through the ranks, but when he fought Miocic, that we noticed that it was conditioning and a grappling. I think this cat has been, the boys that are training this guy, they got him on. I don't give a shit about the minus 1,000. If you're gonna give me money, you give me Andrei Kovalev as a dog money, which I'm staying away from. But you know what sounds good, champ? Atiba to win by KO in the first round for minus 105. I think that's a good bet to hedge on. But
parlay that or something, yeah.
Yeah, you could parlay that one, and you could also hit him with the what do you call it? Like, if the DJs want, throw a little $5 on Pulive as a plus 625. Like, imagine shit goes wrong, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, yeah, just be safe when you're betting. Like I said, Gautier has always done me right in the first round. I think he gets the first round, bro. This guy's a physical specimen. The reach is 81 inches, right? Like, Andre is coming up from Atiba's a middleweight, though, right?
He's a middleweight, yeah. They're both middleweight.
So, for example, Chris Lee, that's where I was getting confused, because Chris Leroy,
he's a middleweight, but he looks like a light heavyweight. He's big.
I think that's where my head was turning here. Okay, this is Atiba first round knockout at a minus 105. That's a great part. That's a great.
I like that. Good call. I like that.
Call. Yeah,
my man coming in hot, man. You did your homework this time, bro. Look at it. My man coming in hot. Like, the old floor price guy would have picked Pulaev at a plus 650. Would have been licking his lips at those odds, man. You've grown, bro.
I'm throwing $5, man.
You've grown, brother. Next up, we have our featured fight of the prelims. I think this is before the main card. We have Umar Nurmagomedov taking on Deiveson Figueiredo. Make no mistake, I think Deiveson Figueiredo is gonna get fucked up in this fight, bro.
That's crazy.
No mistake. The God of War, I respect to you, brother, but you're going up against Umar Nurmagomedov. Listen, Nurmagomedov is coming off that unanimous decision win up against Mario Bautista. He did get dropped. He get tagged in that fight, but aside from that, it was a good performance, right? It was a solid performance, a bounce back win after losing his championship bout to Merab Dvalishvili, where he broke his hand. But in those first 2 rounds, he looked good, man. His striking, his takedowns, everything. And then he broke his arm, and then he kind of just fell by the wayside, right? His cardio wasn't there. He was tired, but whatever. He lost that fight. He came back and won. He utilizes his strikes really well and his kicks. He's fast on the feet. He can throw a nice combination. He utilizes them to set up his takedowns, where he utilizes that iconic Dagestani wrestling, right? The Dagestani handcuff to control you. He has solid cardio. He's pretty well-rounded. He's going up against Deiveson Figueiredo, who last time out beat Montel Jackson via split decision. Split decision, which is a weird call, right? Split. I think he won that fight pretty arguably, right? And he went up against Montel Jackson, where he was the underdog. Prior to that, he lost to Corey Sandhagen, where he had the KO to his he had the injury to his knee, and he lost to Peter Yan via unanimous decision prior to that. But before that, he beat the likes of Marlon Vera and Cody Garbrandt. He's getting up there in age, man. He's almost 40 years old. He has strong Brazilian jiu-jitsu, good submission threats, good scrambling ability. His low center of gravity helps him with his takedowns. He's durable. He's rarely finished outside his, you know, he hasn't been finished other than the loss to Brandon Moreno, I think. He's good, man, but I think Nurmagomedov's going to be too fast for him. Unlike Montel Jackson, who didn't utilize his range, didn't utilize his speed, didn't get going. I think Nurmagomedov's going to get in his face, going to utilize it. It's going to be a standout performance for him here. I think Umar wins.
He's going to set up a pace, right? That's what Umar's known for.
Yeah.
Davison has been training. Like when Davis, like, I mean, I think betting a money line at minus 450 is a little bit of a reach here. Like I would I mean, look, if you bet Nurmagomedov and Gaethje at a parlay, you get a minus 556. You put one more fighter that you think is going to win, it spices things up, right? But not even that much. Like Justin Gaethje is a plus 190. You put Justin Gaethje on this parlay, you're looking at a plus 244. I don't think 50 is worth it. Felix, sorry.
If I'm Umar, I'm looking to finish here, right? Like I need a statement win to try to get back into that title fight, man. You don't think so? Because if he has another fight where it's just a decision, he coast, do you think they give him a title fight, or do you think they give him somebody like, I don't know, Song Yadong or whoever? You get me? Like or Sean O'Malley. They're probably gonna try to protect Sean O'Malley, but you know what I mean? Like, where does he go from here if he doesn't have a good performance?
Yeah, it's tricky, right? But like I said, like Davidson knows what he's getting into, and I think he's more prepared than what we think he is. Now, it doesn't mean he's going to win. It just means that his conditioning to beat Nurmagomedov, your conditioning needs to be outstanding, needs to be better, right? Yeah. And the blueprint is out there to beat Merab now. That body now Merab is really going to face challenges now. By the way.
I think it was the strength of schedule too. He was fighting too frequently. That could have affected him.
And he was also sparring 5 rounds before, like 5 hard rounds in the morning. And like, bro, like I don't care who you are, but that's gonna play a toll. So going back into this fight, like I'm gonna go with Nurmagomedov here. Like I gotta check out the prop bets to see what's interesting. I mean, look off the bat, like this could go to the decision. Right? Like let's not make a mistake, right? I mean, champ, here it is. Fight to go the distance. Yes or no? Minus 150. No, plus 105.
Yeah, see, that's a gamble I would take, right? Because I think for Umar, like just for me, like thinking about how the way the world works, I think he needs a finish here or like a spectacular performance to argue for a title fight again. You get me?
But he hasn't been able to finish these top guys.
Who? Oh, finish the top guys. Okay.
Yeah. He out techniques them, but he doesn't finish them. Like
exactly.
Ronnie Barcelos, Bexot, Corey. You feel me? Like, but again, maybe it's different because you are dealing with a flyweight. Like as big as this cat is, technically, like he's still a flyweight. Let's be honest, right? Like prime was at flyweight, not at bantamweight.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And then he was given fights that are favorable. Rob Font, he was given Cody Sandy, sorry. Cody. Love. Garbrandt. You said Garbrandt is Garbrandt.
I always say Garbrandt for some reason.
That's crazy. But yeah, like I think he's been given favorable fights, and this is not a favorable fight. This is Umar Nurmagomedov, Habib's protege. And bro, he's gonna come locked in. He's gonna come locked in.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good performance from him. I'm gonna go with Umar to win as well. We'll move on to our next fight, kicking off the main card. We have Gene Silva coming back after being brutally manhandled and disrespected by the legend, by the future champ, actually, Diego Lopez. In his last fight, he was humbled. He's going up against Arnold. You hear what I'm doing there? You see what I'm doing there? I got no reaction from you, brother. What's wrong, man? You usually tell me. You usually say I'm glazing or something, bro. Listen, this is my. Let me get my biased picks out the way. Listen, we have Gene Silva taking on Arnold Allen. Arnold Allen has been out of competition for some time. The last time out he fought was in 2024, was a year and a half ago, and he beat Giga Chikadze via unanimous decision. He's a good fighter, right? When he's on, he's good. He fights well at range. He's a solid striker with good kickboxing. He has good technique. He can grapple and scramble. He's a southpaw. He utilizes that, that cross block pretty well. He fights at his pace. He throws with output. He doesn't necessarily have that knockout power, but he does have crisp striking technique. He throws solid combinations, but he's going up against Gene Silva, man. And you don't think Gene Silva, this is the type of fight that I look forward to, right? A fighter who was on the rise, gets KO'd. How do they come back? We've talked about that countless times on this channel, right? How does this person respond, right? Do they take it serious? Because in that Diego Lopez fight, he was too in the moment. He was too with the theatrics, right? He's over there facing off with his wife. He's yelling. He's doing all these things, right? And then when it came to the fight, it wasn't matching up with his theatrics. So you look at Gene Silva, man. He has really, really aggressive striking. He has solid combinations. He has an aggressive pace. He has power, man. That pressure, that's fast hands, and those, those combinations that he throws where he's able to find the chin and just knock people out is some of the best, right, in the division. He lands about 5.37 significant strikes per minute with a 52% accuracy, right? So he lands half of what he throws at you with that speed and power. That fight against Bogdasarian was a fun KO, right? I think that was one of the coldest moments that we posted, right? And it got a lot of likes. He submitted Bryce Mitchell via submission choke, where a lot of people thought he was going to knock him out. So he does have the grappling as well, right? Like these guys at the Fighting Nerds, they do have the background in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right? Most of them are. I think Kyle Berhalo is primarily a grappler, so they do have that grappling arsenal for there, but they kind of just hone in on their other skills. But they do have that. They do train it, and they do have it if needed. We saw Carlos Prates utilize it with Ian Gary, right? The only one that didn't utilize anything was Hoofy, right? And that's why he's not training there anymore for his next fight. But I think I'm going to go with Gene Silva here. I think this is going to be another fight for him to get back into the W column. I don't think that loss to Lopez takes anything away from him. If anything, it should make him better. Better fighter, better person, right? And I think he's going to look good here.
Too soon, too quick. John Silva should have never fought Diego Lopez. And that's the thing. I'm a fan. I'm a Silva fan, but there's a reason why there was money to be made at a plus 200 Lopez. Let's be honest, right? Yeah. You're dealing with a guy a little bit more versatile. Arnold Allen, though, presents a little bit of a challenge. So I'll bet on the decision. I think Silva wins, but it's not guaranteed. If Arnold Allen shows up, now you got ring rust. This guy hasn't fought in a year and 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
Last fight to Giga. Like I do feel that John Silva has the momentum, the Lord. But yeah, man, like I want it. Like this is a very explosive fighter, bro. This guy is like explosive in your face. He won't, settle down. Like, but that being said, like if Arnold Allen locks in and goes to his counters, able to try to mix it up with the wrestling, which he's in TriStar working. And after you saw Diego take this man down, that's the play. The play is a combination of counter striking, taking him down. He has very good. So I'm gonna go with John Silva, but I'm not, bro. I'm trying to stay a little bit away from a minus 265. I don't feel there's value, and I'm sorry for saying that, but minus 265 is, yeah. I mean, like maybe the decision to me, I had more value. I think. Will the fight go to the distance? Yes, 105. No, minus 130.
Yeah, not
even the odds, no. But this fight goes the distance to me.
I think looking at Arnold Allen's, like who aside from Max Holloway has he fought that has that striking prowess, right? Like Masvar, Evlov, he lost, but that's a grappler, right? Giga Chikadze has nice kicks, but Giga Chikadze, right, doesn't have the knockout power like a Gene Silva. Calvin Kattar, good boxing, right? But he hurt his knee in that fight. Dan Hooker.
Yep.
Dan Hooker's not as
Masvar. I think surviving Masvar, right? I saw him live in Toronto.
Yeah, that's a grappler though. He's not going to look to finish you. He's going to look to control you, right? Hit you with ground and pound. Yeah, I mean, how many finishes does Masvar will have? Do you think?
But Arnold Allen has good striking though, and very quick, slick striking too, right? Like, but that's the thing. John Silva is I would call him like a Sean O'Malley type of fighter, where he has good. His counter striking is actually pretty good, and that's why he got the main event. because he's entertaining, he's fun, but he
Yeah.
takes too many risks, right? Like he fucks around too much, and you know that he likes to do certain shit. But
I want to see how he approaches this fight because I want to see if he tones down the theatrics, Gene Silva, and just focuses on the fight. Right? He needs a win here, in my opinion.
I'm
A
gonna
lot of
go.
people are upset.
I'm gonna go with Silva, but I'm gonna go. This fight goes to distance because Arnold
Okay.
Allen. I don't think he's ever been finished. Actually, let me see. Let me see. No, he's never been. He's never been finished.
Until you have, brother.
Maybe it's this one, but I think it goes the distance.
Let's see. Yeah. Right on. We're both gonna pick Gene Silva to get it done here.
Also, these boys should have fought at Champ. The fact that Allen has the leg reach, I think Allen's going to be trying to do a lot of calf kicks, a lot of fuckery. These guys should have fought at lightweight, bro. Allen was talking about going to lightweight. I don't know what halted that, but
maybe this is his pit stop before he goes, brother. We're
let's
both
see.
going with Gene Silva. Next up, we have a beautiful woman fighting, and Natalia Silva taking on Rose Namajunas. Listen, there's no mistake. There's no surprise. Who do you think I'm gonna go for, brother? Don't even need to do a breakdown.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's we don't need to do a breakdown of the fight. Let's be honest. Silva is the number one. Like, Silva should not even be fighting Rose.
You took it away. I love it. Go.
Silva, yeah, Silva should be fighting for the belt. That's how good this woman is. That's how dominant she is. She fought Alexa Grasso, former champion. Just like Alexa Grasso was a deer in the headlights against this fighter. Now you got her facing former champion, two-time champion Rose. A couple things. Rose is young at 33, but in fight years, she's aged. She has very good footwork, but again, Natalia Silva has better footwork.
Yeah.
So one of the things, if I'm Rose, I'm trying to go for the takedown. I'm trying to kind of push her. But if we learn something about Natalia Silva, she has that Taekwondo background where she's going to be able to dance the shit. And that's what she did with Alexa Grasso.
Yeah, that's
reach does go to Rose. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I said Alexa Grasso did look flat-footed in that fight.
Yeah, look very flat-footed. Like I said, like, bro, like I would fire everybody from that camp if I found out that you guys didn't get me multiple men and women Taekwondo champion, so I could try to learn how to, because she didn't know how to cut the distance and the boxing style, the fucking bro. What is this, bro? Like, come on, you former champion. There was a lot of risk in that fight, but I mean, look, Rose. I want to see what happens when there's an exchange of if she could get her down, if she could go for a takedown. Rose is a good striker too, but the one thing, champ, that would edge my decision to go to Rose is that she no longer trains with Trevor Whitman, and she's training with Pat Barry, amongst probably like another guy, and that has me a little bit bearish, because when your husband is your coach, you don't. It's name me a fighter that's
Veronica Hardy. Veronica Hardy. Pretty good.
Good, but is she winning?
Like, Perry, what's his name? Mike Perry. Girls in his corner, bro.
Yeah. But I'm thinking it's like that top competition. Yes, there are fighters, but even Veronica Hardy got what do you call it? Stuffed by that girl, the Brazilian girl. I forgot her name. But that's what I'm saying with this. Like, I don't think Rose is at 100%. I'll bring it to you.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think these two have like similar fighting styles. I think they both utilize their footwork really well, right? They both have speed and movement. And the thing I like about Natalia Silva is her fight IQ, right? Like, she kind of point fights, right? She'll pick and pop from the outside. She'll have you chase her, right? She'll get in her licks and then she'll move. She'll get in her licks and then she'll move. She'll get in her licks and then she'll move. She has really good takedown defense. What happened?
Holly Holm, when she was younger in the UFC,
it's like that. Yeah, it's exactly like that. It's a smart fighting. It's not the most entertaining, right? Because you want to see people get put out. You want to see some nice combinations. But bro, she has really good movement, really good kicks, really good attacks to the body, to the legs, to the head. She also has a very dynamic kick game, right? it's not just like a standard, like I'm gonna kick you with the calf, kick you in the leg. Like she'll throw spinning back kicks, she'll throw, spinning head kicks, she'll throw a head, she'll mix in a combination with a head kick and she'll move out of range. She has good takedown defense. I think that's one of her most underrated attributes. A lot of people don't talk about, right? Her takedown defense is really well. She stays away from the cage, right, where she's not going to be able to be pit against the cage and held up against the cage, right? She keeps consistent movement. Namajunas, I look at the fight against Erin Blanchfield. That was a 5-round fight. She looked good the first 2 rounds, right? And then what happened? As you mentioned, the fight age, right? The years in fighting kind of caught up, and she looked like she slowed down, right? The footwork wasn't there. She was getting beat to the punch. She was getting taken down. And then she bounced back against Miranda Maverick, where she beat her via unanimous decision. But we both picked Rose in that fight, right? Like Rose was going to win that fight. And it was 3 rounds, right? And that's what makes this fight interesting because it's 3 rounds. Rose doesn't have to worry about the 5-round, cardio, right? But I think Silva is going to have Rose chasing her. And I think that's where Silva's going to win this fight, right? Silva's going to make Rose bring the fight to her, right? She's going to pick and pop, move around, circle around the octagon, pick and pop, move around, circle around the octagon. You mentioned a takedown. If Rose is able to close the distance to get a takedown, it's going to be, I'll be surprised, right? Maybe that's a takedown prop bet you want to explore, right? So how many takedowns does Rose get if she does get a takedown? But I think this is going to be just Silva moving around. She's next in line for the belt. And I want to see a fight with her and Valentina. I think that'd be an amazing fight.
Oh yeah, that would be that fight. And holy shit, were we deceived with Valentina versus Weili Zhang? Well, you didn't think it was going to be that dominant. Do you think she was going to play with her like that?
I didn't think she was going to control her like that long for 5 rounds, but I did think she was going to edge it out. You get me? Because she's just too big, bro. She's this is a girl. You're talking about Valentina, who's tasted Amanda Nunes' power, bro. And I think when I looked at it, I was like, she's fought bigger girls, bro. And she's going up against itty bitty like Weili Zhang. Come on, man. No disrespect to Weili, right?
No, there is disrespect because Weili really should never go back to flyweight. Never.
Oh man, that was
bad. That was like this, like moving her, bro. It was insane, and the years of, but that's why there's weight classes for women.
That's why I want to see Valentina versus Natalia, because if Valentina's able to just take her down and not have her move around, I'd be like, that's the GOAT, man. That's the GOAT right there.
Yeah, but she is getting old in age. Sorry, she is getting older. Like I don't.
But she's like wine, bro. Valentina's like wine, bro. With the older the age, the better,
But yeah, we're going with Silva. I think I'm gonna put a good parlay. I think Atiba, Umar, Silva, and Rose goes the distance. I really think.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Natalia Silva. I'm a big fan of her. So you're going with Rose?
No. I'm going with Silva. I would not.
Okay, I heard you say Rose.
No, I said Rose and Silva go the distance.
Okay, so we're both in agreement with Natalia Silva to get it done here and then hopefully fight for a title in 2026. Next up, we have nuestro Dominicano Tigre, Waldo Cortez Acosta. Listen, this man became a fan favorite in 2025, bro. Listen, I was late to the party. I'll admit it. I picked Ryan Spann. And you were looking at me side eye, like, what are you doing? You gave me the bombastic side eye, like, bro, what are you doing, bro? What's going on with you, bro? You all right? You didn't eat your Wheaties in the morning? But Waldo Cortez has impressed me. He has improved. He's coming off that KO win to Shamil Gaziev, where he came in on short notice. He had to travel across the country on 3 days, I believe it was, 3 or 2 days. He went in there, put man to sleep, collected his bag, and went back home, right? He rocks the eye patch. He's mocking. I think this is where you love the most. He's mocking Tom Aspinall. He's wearing the eye patch. He has that. Prior to that, he had that kind of a weird fight against Ante Delija, right? Where a lot of people thought he got tagged, but if you watch the replay, he got eye poked, and then he kind of winced, right? And then the referee intervened, and then a lot of people thought the fight was called. Ante Delija thought the fight was called, but the referee just intervened to make sure that Cortez was okay. He never called the fight. He never waved it off. Boom. They restart the match after a short break. Knocks him out, right? Knocks out Ante Delija. What an adrenaline dump. And then prior to that, he lost to Sergey Pavlovich, where he tasted the power of Sergey Pavlovich. Sergey Pavlovich, if you don't remember, he was knocking people out, man. He has good striking, good boxing, and he was in there. You know, granted, was that fight on short notice? Do you remember?
Which
I don't know
one?
if the Pavlovich.
No, no, it was book.
No,
It was book. Yeah, it was book. It's just
it was
that,
China, right? It was China
but
against
it was also
Sergey.
like the top three, top two fighter. Like
Yeah.
Pavlovich
But
is
the fact that he was able to taste his power, take some of his best shots, right? And then kind of stand there and exchange with him. And then obviously he's most notably known for, you know, dismantling Rebeldes de Spain, right? Rebeldes de Spain came into the UFC as this big Taekwondo Olympic guy, right? Who's gonna be a beast. And what did he do immediately? Took him down, controlled him, wrestled him. So Cortez Acosta does have some wrestling in his arsenal. He has that boxing background. He was a pro boxer. He did play pro baseball, right? He does have the movement. He does have the technique. He does have the counter striking ability and the power, as we've seen him knock out people. But he's going up against Derrick Lewis, the Black Beast. Can you hit me with his emote one time? There we have it. We have Lewis, who's coming off that KO win to Taliesin Teixeira, where you made some money in that fight, didn't you? Didn't you make some money in that fight?
yeah, I did.
You put KO on Derrick
Plus
Lewis,
500.
right? I was drinking the Kool-Aid, bro. Listen, Dana White had me believing that Taliesin Teixeira was gonna be the next heavyweight, man. And what happened? He got KO'd. Prior to that, he beat Rodrigo Nascimento. He lost to Jalton Almeida. He beat Marcos Rogerio de Lima, and then he lost to Sergey Spivak, right? Lewis, have you been watching the UFC Embedded?
He looks very in shape. He's running.
So that's where I was leading towards. He trimmed down for this fight. He's saying that he's taking peptides, that he's lost a little bit of weight, right? He's looking in shape. So do you think that kind of sacrifices power?
I think Lewis is a first round fighter. That's what
You think
Lewis
he's a
is.
first round fighter? I think in this fight, they both have the ability to put each other out. I think I'm going to give the well-rounded, like I think Waldo Cortez Acosta is more well-rounded, right? He went against the wrestling of Spivak, right? Sergey Spivak, and he was able to out-scramble him in those fight and win that fight, right? He's tasted the power of Pavlovich, and he survived. He's the more technical fighter, whereas Lewis is the more powerful fighter. I don't think he has technical striking. You get me? He doesn't have technical striking, but he does have that knockout power.
He's just great.
What happened?
No, he's just like, what do you call? He's just have fuck you
Gritty.
power.
He has gritting, right? He's just grit. Like he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna bite down on my mouthpiece, throw that overhand, and if I find you, I find you. So, how do you think this fight goes? One of the things I think is that Lewis is trimming down because he thinks this is gonna go the distance, right? I think Cortez.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, because listen, I think Cortez. Do you think Cortez comes out and he's just gonna exchange with him and like taste that power?
No.
I think Cortez is gonna box him up, maybe take him down, tire him out, and then win a decision here, bro. I think this could be one of those fights where it just goes to a decision where Cortez plays it safe, kind of like Rebeldes de Spain, right? Or if Cortez comes out and just knocks him out, if they knock each other out, bro, I'll be like, cinema, that's great. That was entertaining as fuck. But we'll go ahead, brother.
No, man, like here's the thing, right? Like, he's gonna be able to hold, like, I'm not saying the first minute, like you could get a clean shot, but Aldo has good takedown defense. Sorry, good striking defense. So he's gonna fight,
Boxer, bro. Yeah,
he's gonna get in there and he's gonna get tight, right? The thing that worries me, and it could be that Wilder lets the Black Beast gets a little bit too close, and the Black Beast hits him with one. I feel that it's gonna wobble him a little bit, right? But the reality is both fighters. Aldo's actually the bigger guy by 6'4". Derrick Lewis 6'3". There's a 1-inch reach advantage. The kicks are literally the same. This fight is closer. I just don't like the odds. Like they've given me plus Waldo for years now, and now you're giving him at a minus 350.
And we've been banking on him, bro. We've been banking on him, bro. When he got slotted in to fight Shamil Gaziev, I immediately messaged you like, listen, bet the house, right? Because he was an underdog, right? He was an underdog in that fight.
Yeah, and late notice, dog. Waldo been training. We know what's up, Waldo. Waldo's hungry, bro, and he's feeding his face. It's you know what it is, bro? It's the Kevin Holland effect. But his coach is like, bro, he's listening to his coaches. That's training. Let's go here. Let's go there. Now everybody in the outlet is, Ariel Hawani and all these fucking guys are interested. And I love the exposure he's getting. But I'm
Yeah,
gonna
he
go with
deserves
Waldo.
it.
I'm gonna go with Waldo. And I think, champ, this is gonna be a victory for Waldo. Sorry, for Waldo. I think if Derrick can't, how about this? Hedge Derrick Lewis for a first round knockout for a plus 650. Because if he goes to the second, it's not going to happen. But then you could get basically like, I think, yeah, you see, that's where it's different. Plus 650, you bet, let's say $5-10. If you want to take that bet. But then I think Waldo takes him out of there in the second or third round.
Yeah, I just think Waldo's fight IQ is better than most people think.
Sure.
I think he just has more tools. He's more versatile, and I think
Let me ask you a question, bro. Very quickly,
What's up, bro?
Who's quit more times? Who's quit more times out of punches?
Derrick.
And we know that if you can hit Derrick's out of there because Derrick knows like I ain't gonna get fired. I'm not gonna get a main event. I already got a fucking two Lamborghinis.
Yeah, I just think Cortez is gonna shoot for a takedown at some point in the first round, right? Like you said, he might taste the power and be like, you know what, I'm gonna take that power away. I'm gonna take him down for a bit, kind of tire him out, and then we'll piece him up, right? Because he's gonna have the striking technique to outstrike him and piece him up later in the fight, not early on. That's why I say, like, a lot of people, like I was reading on X, a lot of people was like, oh, they're gonna meet in the middle of the octagon, they're gonna exchange, they're gonna knock each other out. I think Cortez is too smart for that, bro. No, Cortez is too smart for that.
Would never do that. And Derrick is going to try to bait him. Derrick is going to, if I'm Derrick, I'm rushing. I'm like, I'm rushing, bro. I'm like, and then, just try to time the takedown or try to, and the thing is Waldo, and I said this before, Waldo presents a little bit of an issue if he faces against Tom Aspinall because of his circular movement. He has good circle, and he gets in the pocket with these guys. Like, it's not the first time he's done it. And then the speed advantage goes into Waldo. Like, Waldo's going to have a speed advantage, and then power goes to Lewis, but Waldo's going to be able to hit the body.
Yeah, I agree.
He's gonna get a TKO. But again, if you're a Derrick Lewis fan and you respect him in the first round, put a little $5 on the first round.
Yeah,
it's a great bet.
Right on. We're both going with Waldo Cortez Acosta to get it done. We'll move on to our co-main event. We have your boy Sean O'Malley taking on Yadong Song. Sean O'Malley is coming off a 2-fight losing streak where he lost his title to Merab Dvalishvili. He blamed it on his shoulder. He was going to get surgery. He got the surgery, came back, got submitted. Right? I think that fight was a little too soon. Like, I think I mentioned it when we did the pre-fight analysis, was he needs time to recover from that shoulder injury, right? And he came back way too soon. I think you need like 3 to 6 months, and he came back within 2 months, I would say. But anyways, he lost via submission, north-south choke. That was 7 months ago. Comes in Yadong Song, who's coming off that weird win up against Henry Cejudo, right? Technical decision where there was some eye pokes in there, and Henry Cejudo, instead of taking the DQ, right, he just took it to the scorecards for some reason. It was just weird all around, right? It was weird all around. Prior to that, he lost to Peter Yan. He beat Chris Gutierrez. He beat Ricky Simone. And he lost to Corey Sandhagen via KO, right? I think this fight is good for Sean O'Malley to get back into the dub column. Yadong Song, he's got speed. He's got nice striking, but his issue is he strikes the strikers and he wrestles the wrestlers, right? Like, when he goes up against grapplers, he wrestles them. When he goes, like, he tried to get it going against Henry Cejudo, wasn't able to. And against Peter Yan, he tried to grapple as well, and he wasn't successful. So he's stuck mainly with striking there. He has a 72% takedown defense. He has, however, been KO'd with 2 KO losses on his record. He does give up reach here against Sean O'Malley, and I think that's where Sean O'Malley is going to thrive. I think that's where he's going to have fun. And Sean O'Malley is going to be able to be himself. He's going to be able to get into that flow state, be able to get into that striking rhythm, because up against Merab Dvalishvili, I talked about it was there was the fear of takedown, right? There was the threat of takedown. So when you have that threat of takedown, you're not able to let your hands go because you want to be ready to either sprawl or stuff the takedown or get a gilly or whatever, right? So he wasn't able to really get into it. But what he does well is he has that counter striking. He has that sniper. He's able to put you away. We've seen him use it up against, we've seen him using up against Aljamain Sterling. We've seen him, drive that knee up the middle against Marlon Vera. I think, Yadong Song, he's going to have to close the distance because if Sean O'Malley's able to fight backwards or, use that range and kind of use that forward movement from Yadong Song, he's going to be able to find that shot. So I think Sean O'Malley gets it done here, man.
I think he gets it done too, man. I think this fight is going to be a very difficult fight for Yadong. I mean, look, who knows, right? Like maybe I don't know. Maybe he tries to Marab him, maybe
just shoot for takedowns. Just shoot for a bunch of takedowns.
I did feel that Henry had a good fight.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for Henry's age, maybe it was like Henry 6 years ago, Henry would have beat him. You had to. Yeah, I mean, Henry's hard to finish, but the speed's there. And here's the thing about it. Yeah, bro, this guy has reach, and this guy is dangerous counter striking, and this guy has been fighting the best, Peter Yan, all these different stuff. And my only concern is that he realizes he's at the end of his career, right?
Who, Henry?
No. Oh, Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley has said it. I'm at the end of my career. I know I lose. And he even said, I want to retire by. Sorry, he said he wants to retire by this year. He said that. That's why it's a little bit dangerous to say, okay, well, where's Sean's head at, right? Is he okay? Is he gonna come? Is the killer gonna come out? I'm still going with Sean. I think Sean is good for a parlay. You put Silva, O'Malley, and a couple other cats. We're ready to go. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Sean. I think Sean takes it.
Yeah, I think Sean takes it. And, Sean has made a lot of improvements in his life, right? Like he's quit the podcast, I believe, right? Didn't he say he quit the podcast? He doesn't smoke anymore. He did all these things. Who knows, man? We'll see. We'll see how he comes out this fight. But I think he needs a win here. It's do or die for him.
Yep.
All right. So next up, we have our main event. We have Justin Gaethje taking on Paddy Pimblett. A lot of people online were upset with this matchup, feeling that they both don't deserve it, right? Arman Tsarukyan should have been slated in for the title shot, either against one of these guys, right? We have Paddy the Baddy, right, who has wins over Jared Gordon, where a lot of people thought he lost, Jordan Levitt, Tony Ferguson, where he got gassed. That's where a lot of people are going to say, oh, he gasses, he's going to lose in the later rounds if Gaethje's able to drag it out there, right? King Green is able to submit him. Michael Chandler, he KO'd him. So, a lot of people think that he hasn't fought top 5 to get to a title shot, right? He hasn't fought like the Charles Oliveira's, the Max Holloways, the Arman Tsarukyan's, right? The people in the top 5 to get up here. Justin Gaethje, however, lost to Max Holloway at UFC 300, where he was KO'd in the last 10 seconds of the fight. He beat Rafael Fiziev, who came back from a knee injury, right, via unanimous decision. He beat Dustin Poirier prior to that. He beat Rafael. What's up?
No, I say yep.
And then he lost to Charles Oliveira. This is an interesting fight, man, because depending on what side you're on or however you predict this is going to go, I am not surprised, right? You could say that, oh, Paddy Pimblett has horrible cardio. He lifts his chin in the air, right? He has poor striking defense. Justin Gaethje, who likes to fight, he's a bar fighter, right? Like he's one of those guys that I always say that if I'm going to go out drinking, I want Justin Gaethje with me because I know he's going to scrap. He's going to have my back. But anyways, he's going to be able to find that chin, put him out. He has good uppercuts, good combinations, good leg kicks. He also has that, NCAA Division I wrestling background that he never uses because he just loves striking so much, right? But I think the leg kicks could play a good part here, and the his striking, obviously, right? Pimblett has the advantage on the ground, right? He has solid jiu-jitsu game. His striking is also okay. A lot of people don't like his striking defense, but his striking is pretty good. And another thing is he's very big for the division, and that was noticeable up against Michael Chandler, how big he is. This guy walks around 190, 195, almost 200 pounds, bro, and he cuts down to 155. And against Michael Chandler, he looked not only taller, but he just looked bigger, right? It looked like a welterweight up against a lightweight. But anyways, he's tall and thick. He's fast on the feet. He's fast if he gets the wrestling going. He controls you. He looks to grind out. He scrambles, looks for positions of advantage where you can get some submissions attempts. He is versatile with the striking, despite his striking defense not being the best. He has 9 sub wins, 7 KO, TKO wins. He's known for his durability and, his opportunistic grappling moments. I think, I'm going to side with Paddy the Baddy here, because if he's able to get this fight to the ground, we have seen Justin Gaethje in more trouble on the ground than we've seen Paddy the Baddy in more trouble on the feet. Does that make sense?
100%.
So that's why I'm going to go with Paddy, because we have seen people like Charles Oliveira, Habib Nurmagomedov, and I'm not comparing Paddy to them, so don't come at me, guys. But people who are good on the ground give Justin Gaethje a hard time, right? And he has been finished on the ground, right? Because if he loses, he either gets knocked out or gets finished. That's the way Justin Gaethje goes out, right? He's a warrior. So Paddy to find a way on the ground and then look for a finish here, man. I think it's better for the UFC if Paddy wins.
Oh, right? 100%.
It's because he is younger. He has more star power, because Justin Gaethje is already a star, right? And I think Paddy Pimblett can become a bigger star. Does that make sense?
I don't think Justin Gaethje should have got on the title shot against Oliveira. I think he was just the right moment at the right time and the right star power. And he was slaughtered in. This fight, I don't have a pick. I'll be honest with you. I need to see the weigh-ins. I need to see how big Paddy is. I really need to gauge, because that's the biggest thing. How big is he going to be? Now, that there's a massive striking advantage, though. But again, you call me a weight bully when I fight guys lighter than me.
You brought that up. You sensitive about that? I'm sorry, bro.
Let me tell you something, brother. When you're fighting now, you're looking at 180 pounds, and Justin's 160, 150. Sorry, he's probably 171. You see, I really hope that they institute weigh-ins before. I really hope they surprise us.
They used to do that, right? Don't they do that in boxing? They used to do that in boxing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I could better gauge a fighter. It doesn't matter if you're throwing fucking heat. Like you could take more punches. So I mean, that's why I don't have a decision. I need to check out the fights, and I think Justin at a plus 190 is a gimme. But it's like you said, odds have this guy coming massive and fucking trying to take him down. And
I just think he's going to come in big. He's going to take, like I said, like you just said, I think he's going to come in big and take him down, bro. Yeah. And that's going to be it.
That's the game. He's going to try to get dirty, take him for the takedown. Now Paddy's talking shit about how he's a 5-round. I don't think so. I really hope Gaethje turns up the violence. I really hope that's what needs to happen. Gaethje needs to make this a crazy match. But then, does he have it in the miles? Is he ready? With Fiziev, we saw what happened with Fiziev. That was, easiest money I ever made.
You have a guy in Justin Gaethje who's saying that if I don't get this title shot, I'm gonna retire. So is he already thinking of retirement? Right? Is he gonna?
He trains pretty hard. I don't think he's thinking of retirement. I'm just saying,
or you think that was just a bargaining tool?
Yeah. I was bro, look, just give me the fucking belt. I don't. Who do I also? But he also wasn't warranted for that belt. If we go to lightweight, none of these boys. The reality is, Armanch, they need to remove Islam from this shit. Guys, blessed. Look, bro, these. You know what's crazy? If Oliveira would have just not called out Max, he would have fought Pat. He would have fought Paddy. That's how crazy it is. Benoit Saint Denis, at top 8, bro.
You see who he's fighting next?
Mm-hmm.
Dan Hooker, bro. They gave him Dan Hooker, bro. Easy dub. But anyways. One of the things I liked that Paddy said was, he's like, a lot of people shit on my cardio. I can't do an accent. That was a horrible. We're going to scratch that. He said, a lot of people shit on my cardio, but you don't think I'm fucking working on it, bro? This is a 5-round fight, bro. My cardio is going to be good. Don't worry about it.
I don't get knocked out. He does like this. You got that Justin Gaethje, man. He's violent.
What
Is
I
that
like
like
about Pimblett's what I like about him is that he's aware. He's aware of what people criticize him for. He's like, people say I have bad cardio. People say I have my chin in the air, but I never been knocked out. That's why he says scousers don't get knocked out, bro. You know? Whereas, I don't know, man. This is a good fight, but I'm gonna side with Paddy. You're undecided. You're gonna leave this. You said you're gonna go with Gaethje at the start of this. Change your mind? Yo.
that's the thing?
Oh, you cut off, bro. I didn't hear anything. I just heard that's
That's
the
okay.
thing.
Like I said, I want to see how big he is before making a prediction. I will be going. Gaethje, that's fine. Put me Gaethje, but I need to see when they square up, bro. What? How big is this guy? Like, because the reach is. I mean, what a jab cross. Like I said, bro. When you're a weight bully, bro, punches feel a little bit harder. Punches, you feel it.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see. I mean,
Yeah.
champ, it was good. I'm excited for the first fight card. Um, I'm excited for Friday, Zuffa boxing. That's gonna be very good, bro.
Yeah, we have Zuffa boxing coming out, guys. We will be covering the UFC on X, on Threads. We will be. Are you going to be covering boxing? Do you? Is that something that you plan on
I might
doing?
be
Or
doing.
no?
Yeah, I might be doing. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we might be giving you plays on the Zuffa boxing. Is not officially confirmed, but be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout on our X at Combat Sport, guys. We will drop our picks. We will drop our parlays, our props, our straight money line, our dog bets. Let's make some money this year, guys. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you hit the subscribe, you hit the like. As always, we're Combat Sport Guys. I'm Roy, accompanied by the legend himself, Floor Price Guy. Love what you love, do what you do.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.